Good afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
How are you today?
Um, I'm okay. How about you?
Okay, I'm doing fine. Let's see, the SAP reset date, please.
The 29th of April.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, courtroom two. Let me know when you're ready for me to give my announcement.
We're all set, Judge. You can make your announcement.
Okay, good afternoon. Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We're providing you with the assistance of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Whenever, it's right at 2 o'clock, so whenever you all are ready, just let me know. Courtroom two.
All right. We can start with Alpharetta Annex.
Okay. Good afternoon. Who is ever at the Alpharetta Annex? Who do we have there first?
Sophia.
Uh,
Alkanani. Sophia Alkanani.
This is position number one. Yes, good afternoon, ma'am. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001940B with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers and giving false information to law enforcement. Mr. McLean, is this your case?
Your Honor, yes. I have not yet reached her mother for a possible cosign because when we called it up to Alpharetta, there was some confusion about she had been interviewed by somebody and it wasn't Alex, so I figured it was private attorney. But we went ahead and interviewed her anyway just to be sure. So I'm going to call her mother about the co-signing.
Okay. Let's see, Ms. Jackson, is there a history?
Your Honor, there's no prior arrest on file. She appears to meet the criteria for UJR a level 1. Pretrial is not requesting a co-sign unless the judge is requesting one, Your Honor. We no longer request them.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon, Ms. Harrison.
Good afternoon, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you are as well.
Thank you. Your Honor, the state is not opposed to UJR level 1. I would like to go ahead and present the case. This offense occurred on April 14th, 2025. Officer Golden initiated a traffic stop due to a car failing to maintain a lane. All passengers of the vehicle identified themselves. The defendant gave the name of Sophia Moed and a birth date. The officers were unable to identify her in the system with that name. The defendant insisted that the information she provided was correct. Officers kept, asking questions to get more information from her, and she provided a phone number which allowed officers to correctly ID her. The defendant then admitted that she gave officers incorrect information due to wanting to conceal her real age. And as I stated before, the state is not opposed to a UJR level 1, if that's what the judge recommends. That'll be
Mr. McLean,
No objection.
she has a place to, is she living with her mother?
I believe so, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. It will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 for each charge, makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, ma'am. Do we have anybody else at the Alpharetta Annex this afternoon?
No, Judge, that's it.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon. Thank
All
you.
right, you too.
Courtroom 2.
You can go with ACDC.
Okay. Francois, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. We have first position is going to be position number 10, Ms. Hill.
Were the ladies present for my announcement?
No, Judge, if you can please repeat them. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We're providing you with the assistance of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Ms. Hill, good afternoon. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001949A with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
There's one prior cycle, Your Honor. The last arrest was March the 2nd, 2016 in Fulton County for possession of marijuana. There was no disposition for that arrest, and she appears to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Sirocco.
Good afternoon, Judge. This incident took place April 12th, 2025 at 499 Northside Circle in apartment 104, Atlanta. Law enforcement responded to a damage to property call. Upon arrival, spoke with the victim, Miss Brittany Crawford, traditional spelling, who explained that she was woken up by someone banging on her back window. And when she looked through that window, she noticed her next door neighbor, the defendant, attempting to break into her apartment. After several attempts, she was ultimately able to successfully kick that window out. And when asked what she was doing, she stated she was trying to get into her boyfriend's apartment. Her boyfriend lives at apartment 106 at the location. The state's recommendation for this is a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with Brittany Crawford. Stay away from 499 Northside Circle Northwest in Atlanta, apartment 104. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Chitai.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. No objection to the state's recommendation.
Okay, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Crawford. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Hill.
Position number 25, Taylor.
I'm sorry, Francois. Judge, did you want to do the I guess the male, Mr. Hill? Or are those two cases together or no?
I don't think so. They didn't tell me that there was is there a co-defendant?
They are unrelated, Judge.
They are or not?
They are unrelated.
Oh, unrelated. Okay. I'm sorry. We can carry on. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. So this is Miss Alexandra Taylor, is that right?
That is correct,
Yeah.
Judge.
Good afternoon, Ms. Taylor. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001952G with 2 counts of battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
No, Your Honor, there are no prior arrests on file. She appeared to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Allen.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Happy Monday.
You as well.
This is an incident from February the 18th, 2024. So a delayed arrest. At about 12:30 p.m., police responded to 1109 Cordova Street Southwest. There they met with the victim, Timothy Kennedy. He reported that he and the defendant lived together. They no longer live together. We spoke to him today. But during an argument, she bit him on his ear and struck him in the face, causing a laceration under his eye. He was also bleeding from the bite on his ear. She was identified for police by the victim, Mr. Kennedy, and a warrant was issued, so she was just picked up. We're asking for a $4,000 SOB through pretrial, no violent contract, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Mr. Kennedy reports that they're no longer together, but they do have some contact and that there's been no issues since. And I believe he's here on the Zoom, Your Honor.
Kennedy, if you would like to testify, I'm happy to have you. You have to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Mr. Kennedy. What would you like to tell the court?
Just that really, I obviously I know this is in the state's hands, but if it were up to me, I would not be pressing any charges. This is something in the past we have since moved on from it and gone our separate ways. Like you just heard, we still do have some contact, but friendly. We have a dog together, and so cordial contact, no other issues since then. I can definitely see that Alex has changed since this incident, and definitely don't think it's going to be a issue in the future. Like I said, I know this is in the state's hands, but if it were up to me, I would not be pressing any charges.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Kennedy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for hearing me.
Yes, sir. Mr. McLean, any objection to any of the state's requests?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, as such, for each charge, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Timothy Kennedy. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Taylor.
Judge, I do have a quick announcement for, the name is Cortisha Welch. I just wanted to inquire, is she NOD? Because I didn't receive an email if her case was dismissed.
Her case is in felony court. The random misdemeanor theft by receiving that she has, just like Mr. Coles, who was on our poll sheet, actually is related to 5 felony level charges from the same agency in the same time. Already in felony court. It was just a mistake.
Okay, yeah, she did go to court for her felony charges this morning.
So they should all be together there in felony court. I let them know.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Judge. That's it. We're completed here at ATC.
Okay, I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Judge, real quick. I was just told my client's not on this calendar, and I was given this link. Attorney David Schnipper, how you doing? Bobby Jean DeMonk, I was given this link. I don't know if I have the wrong link, and I just want to, excuse myself if she's not on the calendar today. I'm a little confused.
I have her on my calendar. Good afternoon, Mr. Schnipper. I have DeMonk on my calendar.
This is her position number 7.
Okay.
Okay. I great. I just got a message from one of the ASGs. I guess there was it's a Monday. We understand. I saw. I'll be quiet whenever the court's ready, Judge. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we're ready now. So have you had an opportunity to speak with your client? Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. DeMonk. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001944F with 2 counts of simple battery. This is position number 7. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
No, Your Honor, there are no prior arrests on file. She appears to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place yesterday, April 13th, 2025, at 3637 Peachtree Road in Atlanta. It's the Nova Restaurant. Law enforcement responded to a call there regarding an assault, and upon arrival, spoke with several witnesses who stated the defendant had attacked multiple people in the restaurant. Officer found the defendant in a nearby parking lot. She was uncooperative and had to be physically restrained, but an eyewitness, Miss Gifty Tura, if I'm saying that correctly, Giftytura, explained she observed the defendant strike the first victim, Miss Min Min Zhu, Min, that's one word, and Zhu XU, in the stomach after a verbal argument. And when the second victim, Miss Baruch Tawait Bayeni, Biruk Tawait, Bayeni, Beyene, tried to de-escalate the situation, the defendant charged at her and struck her on the right side of her face. The victim, Miss Zhu, explained the defendant was very intoxicated and became upset after thinking she had misplaced her phone. It was moved to another table by a friend. And when she told the defendant she needed to pay her remaining balance before leaving, the defendant struck her in the stomach. and struck Miss Bayeni on the right side of her face when she tried to intervene. This incident was captured on video by Miss Tura, or the latter half of the incident where the defendant charged and hit Miss Bayeni. And that was shown to law enforcement as well. The defendant was arrested on scene. We've spoken to Miss Zhu. She's confirmed the events in the warrant and stated she doesn't know the defendant and does not want contact with her. We haven't been able to reach Miss Bayeni, but the state's recommendation for this, of course, sound for the victim when appropriate, if the court would, is a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with either Min Zhu or Baruch Tawait Bayeni. Stay away from the Nova restaurant at 3637 Peachtree Road in Atlanta, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond. That's all for the state.
Okay. Before I go on, if you are on the Zoom call, I'm happy to have you here, but please do not be moving around. Do not be smoking cigarettes. This is a court session. Treat yourself as if you were actually in court. I'm happy to have you here, but find a quiet place so that you can address the court when we get to the case that you're here for this afternoon, please. Otherwise, please go off camera and come back on camera when your case is before me. Mr. Schnipper. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, Judge. Judge, would I be happy to accept the state's reasonable offer. The only tidbit is Ms. DeMont lives in North Florida. I don't know what the parameters would be with pretrial services, being that she does live 6 hours away, lives on the Florida-Georgia border. She does have no criminal history, 43 years old, has one child, is in the real estate business. It just seems like this was a very bad day for her. Again, no criminal history, but would ask the court to accept the UJR or signature bond, and happy to have her adhere to any pretrial services if she's able to do that from living not in or around the Atlanta area, about 5 hours away in North Florida.
Okay. Ms. Jackson, Ms. DeMonk is able to report by phone. Is that correct? With level 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll have a report by phone.
Judge, could we sound for the victims in this case?
Okay, if Ms. Zhu or Ms. Benny is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. I don't believe so, Mr. Shiraka.
Thank you, Judge.
As such, for each charge will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial. Level 1 makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Level 1, 1 day anger awareness. No further contact with Ms. Zhu or Ms. Benny. Stay away from the Novo restaurant on Peachtree Road. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Monk. Anything further this afternoon, Mr. Schnipper?
No, sir. Thank you for your time, Your Honor. It's always good to see you. Have a good day.
You as well. Take care.
Next, we'll go with position number 19, Mr. Murphy.
Okay.
Murphy, he has a private attorney also.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Ms. Brown Melcher here for Mr. Murphy.
Good afternoon, Ms. Brown Melcher. Good afternoon again, Mr. Murphy. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001958A with battery and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history? Ms. Jackson?
Your Honor, he does not have any prior arrests on file. He appears to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Afternoon, Ms. Dunlap.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident date happened yesterday at 5075 Burrington Street, Broughton in Roswell. Officers were dispatched to an assault in progress. They were informed that the victim had left the scene and was waiting in the parking lot. They spoke to the victim and Mr. Sean Call, who stated he was hanging out with his friend, the defendant, since 11 a.m. the previous day. They went out drinking around 8 p.m. Around midnight, defendant's girlfriend showed up and they went back to the defendant's house in an Uber. He had fell asleep on the couch, it looks like, and his girlfriend, defendant's girlfriend, told the victim to go upstairs and go to sleep in the room. He was awakened at 6 a.m. by the defendant striking him in the head with a closed right hand, to which they started fighting and fell into the minor initials H.M's bedroom. Mr. Call then left the area and called the police. The minor HM stated he saw his father on top of Mr. Call, striking him with a closed fist. The girlfriend in the residence, Miss Kraus, Kraus, stated that she was in the defendant's bedroom having a conversation. She told the defendant that Mr. Call had attempted to flirt with her at the club. And he got out of bed to confront him. All she heard was a lot of commotion. She attempted to break up the fight and asked the victim to leave the house. Our office did have a chance to speak with the victim. He said that they were friends. They do not live together. He confirmed the events in the warrant and stated that this attack was unprovoked. He doesn't know why the defendant did this. He stated that his thumb is messed up from the incident and the defendant bit his ear. The victim also stated they had to, I guess, tape his thumb up with surgical tape. And he has said the defendant has never done anything like this before. He doesn't wish to have any contact with the defendant, and he will be on Zoom so he can sound for Mr. Call when appropriate. The state is looking for a $4,000 signature amount through pretrial. No further contact with Sean Call, 1 day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And if we could sound for Mr. Call when appropriate.
Mr. Call, I see you there. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Need for you to unmute yourself for me, please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Mr. Call. What would you like to tell the court?
It would just be that we had the greatest time all day long. Whatever was said in the report, all I know is I was told to go to bed around 1 o'clock in a very friendly manner. And then I woke up in the morning to fighting for my life. And that's about as much as it is. I've got an appointment with an orthopedic tomorrow because I can't raise my shoulder. I feel like I've got a torn rotator cuff. He bit me 5 times. He bit me on my thumb. He bit me on my pinky, the inside of my left arm, the right side of my, that same arm on the shoulder, and then another spot on my side. So I woke up like I was in a washing machine, couldn't figure out what had happened. When I was leaving, his girlfriend was saying, don't call the police, don't call the police, don't call the police. And his son, HM, had a look of horror on his face. And so it took me some time to kind of really think about what happened. And I still can't quite figure out what the trigger was until I read that police report and heard what you just said. But she didn't show up till 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And the officer yesterday told me that the reason he got triggered was because I told her that he was seeing other women, but he told me that they were broken up and that he had told her that earlier in the day. And there was no reason that I would have even discussed that with her. She was only there for about an hour.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Call.
No problem.
Ms. Brown Melcher?
Yes, Judge Morrow, no objection to the state's 4,000 UJR with the conditions of no contact with Mr. Sean Call. Mr. Murphy is 47 years old. He's been living in Georgia for the last decade. He does own the home that's located at the incident location. It is his house, so Mr. Call does not live there, but was visiting at the time. As stated, he does have 2 children, ages 13 and 15. One, he's the primary caretaker for and lives with him at the home. The other lives in Georgia, but stays with the mother. But he is the sole provider for. He works in Atlanta, Your Honor. He's a dentist. He went to dental school, owns his own practice, so has strong ties to the community, has no prior criminal history, he's never been in a fight before. This is the first incident of such. So we are asking for the court to follow the recommendation from the state of the 4,000 UJR bond with the conditions that the court deems appropriate.
Thank you, Ms. Brown Melcher. You had something further, Mr. Call?
I do. I've been friends with Rob for 5 years. We're pretty close. I have had cancer for the past 2 years, had 2 surgeries, last one being February the 20th. I have 1 kidney left. He knows I'm not supposed to be in any kind of tussling or wrestling around. We're all wrestlers from high school. He knows what I've been through. 3 major surgeries in the past 3 years. The last one was on February the 20th, and he still came in my room and attacked me while I was sleeping. That's all. I just wanted to let you know that part too.
All right. Thank you for being here, sir.
No problem.
Nothing further. For the battery, a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the cruelty, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Call, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you all.
Thank you, Your Honor, and that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Downer.
you as well.
Who do we have next?
Now, position number 2, Mr. Amons. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ammons. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001938H with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, he has 9 cycles. The last arrest was November the 11th, 2023 out of Gwinnett County for theft by shoplifting. He appears to be on probation in Gwinnett County for theft by shoplifting. That disposition date was June the 3rd, 2024, and the term is for 12 months. He does have prior misdemeanor convictions in a sentence. This one in 2014 for disorderly conduct, who received a nolo contendere sentence in 2009 out of Griffin, Georgia, for theft by taking. And there is one misdemeanor conviction that was in 2005 out of Ohio for the misuse of a credit card. He appears to meet the criteria for UJR level 1. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, this incident occurred on December 8th, 2024, at 227 10th Street, Atlanta. At that time, police were dispatched to the location, which is a nightclub, for a fight call. They met with the victim on the scene, Chukwumara Adamora, who had visible injuries. Mr. Adamora told officers that the defendant approached him asking to talk, and when he refused, the defendant grew angry and struck him with his fist. Security escorted the defendant out after the incident occurred and corroborated the story. We did speak to the victim. Mr. Adamora stated that he wants no further violent contact with the defendant. And based on the defendant's criminal history, the state is in agreement. We could consent to the pretrial's recommendation of the UJR. I believe that would be appropriate. We're requesting, conditions of no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and that'll be all.
Okay, if Mr. Adamora is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Mr. Chatai?
I wouldn't object to a UJR, Your Honor.
Does do you know if your client knows this Mr. Adamora? Was there any reason that
No,
they
they,
need
they,
contact?
no, they don't know each other. They don't live together. They're not in contact with one another.
Okay, thank you. As such, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Adamora. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Ammons.
Thank you. Next, we'll go on position number 15, Ms. Light.
Good afternoon, Ms. Light. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001955A with criminal trespass and theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yeah, 37 cycles. The last arrest was April the 2nd, 2025 out of Chamblee, Georgia, for a failure to appear. Does appear to be on probation in Fulton County for theft by shoplifting. That case number is 24 SC 003797. That disposition date was October the 11th, 2024, and the term is for 4 years. We appear to have an open probation case out of Gwinnett County for terroristic threats and act That disposition date was February the 15th, 2024, and the term is for 5 years. And also, there appears to be an additional open probation case in Fulton County for theft by shoplifting. That case number is 24 SC 003583. That disposition date was October the 11th, 2024, and the term is for 4 years. And there are prior felony convictions, one in 2015 out of Richmond, Georgia, for forgery in the third degree, one in 2014 out of Columbia County, Georgia, for 5 counts of forgery in the third degree. There was one in 1998 out of Ohio for robbery. And there are misdemeanor convictions, one in 2023 for theft by shoplifting, one in 2022 out of Douglas County for theft by shoplifting, one in 2019 out of DeKalb County for theft by shoplifting. He received a nolo contendory sentence in 2017 out of Clayton County for theft by shoplifting. Nothing in addition. Let me give you the recommendation, Your Honor. It's recommended for UJR level 3. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just to put on record, that is 5 theft by shoplifting convictions, excluding the NOLO in 2017 and 2 open theft by shopliftings from the December of 2024 in this case. This was recommended to be a felony upgrade, but we haven't heard back from the DA's office as of yet. As such, this incident date happened on April 12th, 2025 at 3535 Peachtree Road Northeast in Atlanta. That's a Target. Officers were called regarding a shoplifting call, and they met with the loss prevention officer who stated the defendant was detained for shoplifting. She had already been banned from all Target stores in Fulton County on, it looks like June 21st, 2024 for a year. Officers watched the video of the incident and saw the defendant conceal 11 items of cosmetics, pass all points of sale without paying. Officers received a copy of the trespass order that was originally issued by the Target rep. As I mentioned before, with the 5 previous convictions and this being a possible felony upgrade, the state is looking for a $4,000 surety bond in this case, a stay away from 3535 Peachtree Road Northeast in Atlanta, anti-theft course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. McLean?
Thank you, Your Honor. 46-year-old Patricia Lytle is a high school graduate. She has been doing housekeeping for the last year, and she's been a homemaker for about 4 years before that. I usually ask them about the last 5-year period. She has a stable address on White City Road, and I've got the zip code. The phone numbers are stable. I've got her mom's number. I've got her stepdad's number. They're both on her side and supportive of her. I think I need a social worker visit here, but I would ask for a signature bond.
For the criminal trespass, it's a $500 good bond. For the theft by shoplifting, a $1,500 good bond, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. Social worker visit to assess for a BHET, stay away from all targets, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Next, we got position number 4, Mr. Calamez.
Good afternoon, Mr. Calamese. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001937A with 2 counts of willful obstruction of law enforcement officers and battery. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Your Honor, there are no prior arrests on file. He appears to meet the criteria for UJR, a level 1. Nothing in addition.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Westman.
Good afternoon, Judge. Pamela Westman for the state. This happened on April 13th, 2025, and it happened at the Home Goods parking lot at 5934 Roswell Road, Sandy Springs. The defendant is the ex-boyfriend of the victim, Miss Sims, Miss Yvonne Sims. He got into the passenger side of her car and eventually maneuvered to the driver's side, and she went to the passenger side. He then drove the car to a dark area of the parking lot and punched her with an open and closed fist multiple times on her face, her arms, and her rib cage. This resulted in visible markings. She was also very dizzy when the officers got there. Her head hurt. EMS was called to the scene. When the officers arrived, the defendant ran from them. They were clearly wearing uniform and in marked cars. So based on this, based on the defendant running, as well as the personal relationship, which the victim, Ms. Sims, says is toxic, she also says she wants to be left alone by the defendant, and the extent of her injuries, we are asking for a $3,500 surety bond, $3,000 for the battery, and $500 for the willful obstruction of law enforcement charges. No further contact with Yvonne Sims, a stay away from her home and her workplace, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no firearms, and an anger management course. At this time, the state would stand for Yvonne Sims, and we have nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Sims is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Does not appear so. Mr. Chatai?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 20 years old. As we heard from pretrial, he does not have a record. He's been a lifelong resident of Georgia. He has a high school diploma. He graduated from Salem High School. He also has full custody of his 4-year-old daughter, and he takes care of her. And he also has 2 jobs. He works at Lowe's. He's currently in training for operating a forklift. And his second job is at Marshall's, and he's been a store associate there since February. Your Honor, given my client's age, the fact that he hardly has a criminal record, and that he has stable employment and that he's taking care of the daughter, I would ask the court to consider a signature bond instead of the $3,500 surety.
Okay, for each obstruction, it will be a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Sims, stay away from both her home and work addresses, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat those numbers again?
I can. For each of the obstructions will be a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Next, we'll go with position number 3, Mr. Bell.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Bell. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001941J with battery family violence, hindering persons making an emergency telephone call, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, there's one prior cycle. The last arrest was January the 1st, 2024 in Gwinnett County for battery, family violence, and obstruction of an officer. That case appeared to be still pending, Your Honor. It was recommended for UJR level 2. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Your Honor, this offense occurred on April 12th, 2025. The incident location was 995 Old Dogwood Road. Dispatch received a hang-up call. They heard sounds of a struggle in the background. The caller called back and gave a description of the defendant. The officers met the defendant on the scene. He admitted he was involved in an altercation. The officers proceeded to the room where the incident occurred and made contact with the victim, Miss Ayanna Moultrie. Miss Moultrie reported that during a verbal dispute with the defendant, he physically assaulted her and obstructed her ability to call 911. The argument started because Ms. Moultrie answered defendant's phone. He woke up enraged, yelling and causing her to drop the phone. She feared for her safety and attempted to call 911 as she had their minor child, CM, there with her. The defendant pushed her off the bed and took the phone. The defendant pushed her face, and while she was on the ground, he placed his foot on her chest to prevent her from retrieving her phone and speaking to a 911 operator. Once the defendant packed his belongings, he threw Ms. Moultrie's phone against the wall and told her she could now call 911. Officers on the scene observed visible scratches on Ms. Moultrie and a phone-sized hole in the wall of the room. They also observed drywall residue on the phone. Ms. Moultrie complained of chest pain at the scene of the incident from the defendant placing his foot on her chest and requested medical attention. We did speak to Ms. Moultrie. She wishes for no further violent contact, and she wants the defendant to stay away from her and the minor child and her residence. Based on the prior open pending charge out of Gwinnett County, the state does want to note that it is the same type of case against the same victim, and we are going to note again that they do share a minor child together. The state's recommendation is a $6,000 surety bond, $2,000 for each charge, with the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, or firearm. The state also would like to reiterate that there to be no contact at all with the victim, and would like to sound for Ms. Moultrie at this time. She is on the Zoom. That'll be all.
Thank you. Ms. Iona Moultrie would like to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in. I don't see Ms. Moultrie. As such, Ms. Harrison.
I was gonna say I don't see her either. So
Okay, thank you. Mr. McLean.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. 24-year-old Shamari Bell is a high school graduate of Collins Hill High School here in Metro Atlanta, but he lives in Rayle, Georgia, Rayle. That's in Wilkes County, over there where Washington is the county seat. He is a videographer and a photographer, and he's done that for the last 4 years, self-employed. Before that, he worked in a warehouse. He would ask the court to consider a signature bond if possible, but if that's not possible at all, then he'd ask for a $1,000 surety bond, Your Honor.
Okay, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 good bond. For the hindering person making an emergency phone call, a $500 good bond. For the cruelty, a $500 good bond makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Moultrie. Stay away from the Old Dogwood Road address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Mr. Bell, let me explain to you what no contact means. No contact means absolutely no contact. Obviously, no personal contact, no phone contact, no internet contact, no texting, no emailing, no contact whatsoever, no contact through a third person. You can have no contact with Ms. Moultrie until this matter is resolved. Good luck to you, sir.
Next, we'll go position number 6, Mr. Cho.
Your Honor, before we take that, Miss Jackson, can you check your chat, please?
yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Choate. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001942C with loitering and prowling. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
I'm sorry. What position is that, Your Honor?
That's position number 6, Mr. Choate.
Just a moment, please.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. There are 4 cycles. The last arrest was October the 15th, 2024, with the City of Atlanta for affixing materials that reduce or increase the light of transmission / reflectance of windows / window shield. Does appear to have 2 open cases in Fulton County. The first case is 24 PI 007594. For the violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act, Schedule 1 or 2 with the intent to distribute, and driving the window tint violation, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. And the second case is 24 CR 005486 in the letter C for battery, family violence, and simple assault, family violence, and criminal trespassing and damage to property. He did receive first offender treatment in 1999 out of Morgan County for possession of controlled substance and possession of marijuana. And there was 1 misdemeanor conviction in 1998. Well, actually, it wasn't a conviction. He received a low contendere sentence for a DUI. They appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 3. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Westman?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
After-
Pamela Westman for the state. This offense was on March 9th, 2025, and it took place at 1306 Wingate Way in Sandy Springs. The victim in this case, Ms. Shatoya Hernandez, had Ring video showing the defendant trying to get into her home by turning the doorknob of her apartment. And this happened at 4 a.m. and 9:25 a.m. And when he found it locked, he left. The concern here is really that it's not a long criminal history, but in the past year, he has these 2 open pending cases, as was mentioned. One was in front of you. The family violence battery was in front of you, and the October drug possession and felony court. So now he is in violation of both of those. And he was trying to open the door twice, which is pretty frightening. So the state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from 1306 Wingate Way in Sandy Springs. And we would sound for Ms. Shatoya Hernandez.
If Ms. Hernandez is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Mr. Chatai?
Thank you, Judge. My client is 52 years old. He's lived in Georgia for 3 years now. He has 2 years of college. He completed college. The 2 years that he did complete were at Western Carolina University. He studied radio television when he was there. He currently works for a country station here in the Atlanta area. And before that, for 28 years prior, he worked for a morning station. But now he works for a smaller station instead. Also, I looked at his public safety assessment report. I did not see any violent convictions nor failures to appear. For those reasons, Judge, I asked the court to consider a signature bond, otherwise $1,000 surety.
Ms. Westman, on the is the battery family violence, is that open?
It is. It's open, and that was in front of you. That's in front of you, and it was August 5th, 24.
What bond did I give him on that?
I have to look that up. I'm sorry about that. See if I can get.
Your Honor, it was a $5,000 SOB through pretrial, I believe level 1.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Allen.
Thank you.
Mr. Chatai, does he have is he residentially challenged? Does he have a place to live?
We didn't discuss that, Your Honor. No, I'm not sure.
I want to be able to help him if he needs some help through a social worker visit. I'm going to have a social worker visit him regardless, Mr. Chatai. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. I want him to have a social worker visit to assist him with housing if that's an issue. He's to have no further contact with Ms. Hernandez and stay away from the Wingate Way address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, out on bond. Mr. Choate, you've obviously been before me before. I'm going to give you the opportunity to sign yourself out, but if you come back before me on anything further, I'm not going to give you another signature bond in the future. You understand me?
I do, Your Honor. I appreciate that very much.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Great afternoon.
Your Honor, we have a social worker here in the courtroom too.
Okay, very good. So hopefully she can see him today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we'll go on position number 9, Mr. Harper.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Harper. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001948G with fare evasion and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, there are 11 cycles. The last arrest was March the 20th, 2025, with the city of Atlanta, for theft by shoplifting and criminal trespassing. There was no disposition for that arrest. Also, there appears to be an additional open case pending with the Marta Police Department for a P&I. There's no disposition for it. It does have a misdemeanor sentence and convictions. It's one in 2022 for reckless driving. He received a nolo contendere sentence in 2013 out of Clayton County for driving while license suspended or revoked. And there's one in 2007 out of DeKalb County for a DUI. And he appears to meet the criteria for UJR level 2. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place April 11th, 2025 at 1055 DeKalb Avenue in Atlanta. That's the Inman Park MARTA station. Law enforcement saw the defendant enter the transit station by forcibly pushing through closed fare gate without paying the required fare. Officer made contact with the defendant in the paid area of the station, ran a GCIC, NCIC check, as well as completed a MARTA suspension check, the latter of which revealed that the defendant was on an active 60-day criminal trespass suspension, and was listed as a repeat offender. I'm not sure whether that previous suspension was the public indecency arrest in February of 2025 by MARTA, but because I don't believe that's our case, but in any case, the state's recommending a signature bond through pretrial services, stay away from all MARTA premises and property, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Objection to any of that? Is this your case, Mr. Chutai?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't object to the state's recommendation.
Okay, as such, it will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 on each charge, makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Stay away from all MARTA, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Harper.
Next, we'll go positions number, hold on. We'll go position number, give me 1 second. I think he's an add-on. Yeah. We'll just we'll go position number.
Excuse me.
Mr. Hill, position number 11, Mr. Hill.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Did you guys already do Shakira Key?
I don't remember a Shakira Key, I don't believe.
No, we haven't.
Okay, thank you. Okay, but she is on for today, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And this is position number 11, Mr. Hill, is that right?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hill. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001950F with theft by receiving stolen property. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
There's one prior cycle. The last arrest was November the 8th, 2023 in Conyers, Georgia for a DUI. There was no disposition for that arrest. It does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 2. Nothing in addition.
Thank you, Mr. Sirocco.
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place yesterday, April 13th, at 151 Ellis Street in Atlanta. Law enforcement observed a vehicle with a Georgia tag and initiated a traffic stop after the tag was alerted to be stolen by their system. Once the plate was run, it was found to be stolen on April 11th in Atlanta, Georgia. The victim being Mr. James Alexander. The defendant was identified as the driver of the vehicle that the officer stopped. He admitted he didn't know how the stolen tag got on his vehicle, and advised the officer that his actual valid tag was in the passenger seat of the vehicle, which the officer did confirm. The defendant was then placed under arrest. The state's recommendation in this case is a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with James Alexander, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Chatai?
No objection to the state's recommendations, Judge.
All right, will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Alexander, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hill.
Good. Next we'll go position number 12, Mr. Johnson. Johnson, here we go. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001962Y with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, there are 3 cycles, Your Honor. The last arrest was April the 15th, 2017, out of Coweta County, Georgia, for driving while license suspended or revoked. He received pretrial diversion for that charge. He does have 1 prior felony conviction. It was in 2002 out of Troup County for possession of controlled substance with the intent to distribute. And he appears to meet the criteria for UJR a level 1. Nothing in addition.
Thank you, Mr. Sirocco.
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place yesterday, April 13th, at 2091 Metropolitan Parkway, Southwest Atlanta. That is the McDonald's, that parking lot there. Law enforcement responded to a person injured / assault call at the McDonald's lot at around 3:15 in the morning. There are, I'll just say this, 3 parties involved in this case. You have Jimmy Stevens, who is the victim. A third party, Miss Holly Cravens, who is the ex-girlfriend of Mr. Stevens, and the defendant, Jonathan Johnson, who is the current boyfriend of Miss Cravens. According to both the defendant and the victim, the defendant had gone over to the victim's residence, not the incident location, at around 2:30 on the 13th, that same day, to talk to him about Miss Cravens. Defendant stated he went there to ask if he was familiar with the medication Miss Cravens was taking as she was experiencing some MH issues, trying to seek advice or some insight from the victim. While the victim stated that the defendant expressed to him that he could no longer manage the situation with Miss Cravens, and insisted that the victim deal with her. That's a quote unquote deal with her. The victim further explained that he left his residence to speak with Miss Cravens, who was in her white truck parked behind the McDonald's where she resides. The victim and Miss Cravens got into an argument in the parking lot of the McDonald's, and while they were arguing, the defendant approached the victim from behind and struck him in the face, resulting in a deep laceration beneath his right eye and blood visibly dripping from the wound all the way down to his mouth, which the officers observed. Miss Cravens provided a different account, I'll say this, stating the victim approached her trying to get back into a relationship with her. She rejected him, and while they were arguing, she claimed that the victim allegedly struck her in the left eye with his motorcycle helmet. And the defendant then came over, observed the injury to her, and then struck the victim, in her aid. In her defense. The officer did not find probable cause to arrest the victim here for a number of reasons. While the officer observed swelling on Miss Cravens's face, it appeared to be an older injury, given that there was no bleeding present, the swelling didn't appear current. The second being the defendant stated he did not observe the victim strike Miss Cravens at the incident location. When he arrived or when he approached, he only saw them arguing at the time. He also stated he did not see the swelling in her eye before he attacked Miss Cravens, which is what she had stated about the incident, that he saw that and then attacked. The defendant actually, this is the third point, defendant admitted that he struck the victim and claimed he had seen the victim physically strike Miss Cravens earlier in the day during a previous encounter. So prior to him going to the victim's residence and asking for his advice, doesn't really make any sense that you go to your girlfriend's assailant's residence and ask him for help. The defendant was placed under arrest at that time. Due to this being a violent case and due to the severe nature of the injuries, it sounded like it was a very deep laceration. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety, no further contact with Jimmy Stevens, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. If Mr. Stevens is on the call, the state would ask that the court sound for him.
Mr. Stevens is present and would like to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Mr. Chutai?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask the court to consider a surety bond or the lowest, signature bond or the lowest surety bond possible. My client is a 40-year-old lifelong resident of Georgia. He got through school as far as the 10th grade, and he has a GED. And for the past 10 years, he has been working at Metro Fund Center. He's been there as a maintenance technician. So he has stable employment and he has ties to the community, which is why I asked the court to consider a signature bond.
Okay, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Stevens. Stay away from his residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Johnson. Who do we have next?
Sorry, we have position number 26, Mr. Teague.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Teague. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001959E with theft by receiving stolen property. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, there are 23 cycles. The last arrest was December the 18th, 2024, out of Cobb County for a probation violation. He does appear to be on probation in Fulton County for armed robbery. That case number is 11 SC 98571. That disposition date was September the 1st, 2011. 10 years of confinement and 10 years of probation. Also, there's an additional open probation case in Fulton County. That case number is 24 SC 003437 for pointing or aiming a gun or a pistol at another. That disposition date is December the 17th, 2024, and the term is for 12 months. It does have prior felony convictions. It's one in 2011 for possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute and possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. It's one in 2009 out of Cobb County for theft by taking. It's one in 2007 for theft by receiving stolen property. He does have misdemeanor convictions. It's one in 2023 out of Cobb County for a P&I. There was one in 2011 for giving false information to an officer. And one in 2008 for giving false information to an officer, and obstruction of an officer, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. He appears to meet the criteria for a UJR level 3. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Mr. Teague?
Yes, Your Honor. There are 23 cycles. The last arrest was December the 18th, 2024, out of Cobb County for a probation violation. He does appear to be on probation in Fulton County for armed robbery. That case number is 11 SC 98571.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
I apologize. This is an incident from April the 12th, 2025. It's a single count of theft by receiving. The victim in this case is Leilani Richardson. On the 12th, she made the report that on the 11th, she had put her phone outside, down in front of the apartment location. That's 1073 Hollywood Road Northwest. She went back inside and realized she had walked away, leaving her phone outside. She used an app on her iPad to locate her phone. It showed that it was outside. She went outside and she saw a young man pick up her phone and then leave in a black sedan. She put her phone on stolen mode, and sometime later she called her phone and a male answered and told her he'd give it back to her if she paid him $80. The next day, on the 12th, she was able to track her phone to 1668 George Avenue Northwest, and then it had been turned off. She was no longer able to track it after that. Police did a knock and talk at that address, and the defendant answered the door with the phone in his hand and claimed that he'd purchased this phone, which has a value of about $400, the day before for $15. At that time, he was placed under arrest. He's arrested for theft by receiving based on that new or should have knowing a phone of $400 or more value you can't buy for $15 from someone whose name you're not going to tell police. He has a substantial history that includes not just theft, but theft with violence, and he's currently on probation. We're asking for $1,000 surety, no contact with Mrs. Leilani Richardson, and to stay away from the location there at 1073 Hollywood Road Northwest. Thank you.
Richardson is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. 37-year-old Mr. Teague lives on Mary George Avenue. The state was a little bit off on some of the numbers there, but we're not quibbling on that. He does stock inventory. He's unemployed right now. He lays gravel, which is ballast for railroads. He has an 11th grade education that he then turned into a high school degree by getting his GED. We'd ask the court to consider a signature bond due to the nature of the case.
All right, it'll be $100 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Richardson. Stay away from her residential address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Teague. Yeah, next.
This is number 14, Mr. Lyon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lyons. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001954H with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
I believe this is his, actually not let Ms. Jackson do it.
Your Honor, there are no prior arrests on file. He appears to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail. Nothing in addition.
Thank you, Ms. Dunlap.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened yesterday at 4785 Cascade Road in South Fulton. Officer spoke to the victim upon arrival. That's Miss Kayla Willis. She stated she got up at 7 a.m. And a later date went back to sleep, woke up at 8. She got ready for church. The defendant is her boyfriend and father of her child. They had a brief conversation before she left for church. After she returned home, she was talking to herself out loud about how the defendant was not helping around the house, not cleaning the child's bottles like she asked. When she attempted to enter her bedroom, the defendant closed and locked the door to prevent her from entering. She had tried other access points, to which he closed that door as well. She stated she was trying to enter her room because he wears some of her clothing and she wanted to prevent him from bothering her belongings. Eventually, when she unlocked the door, they began arguing about his lack of contributions to the household and irresponsibility, to which he pushed her to the ground, punched her in the face with a closed fist, causing swelling to her right cheek. She was holding her 3-month-old daughter at the time of the incident. Defendant told officers that they were arguing when he tried to walk away from her. She had pushed him, and the second time she pushed him, he ended up pushing her back and she fell, causing the injury to her cheek. Officers did have a chance to speak to the victim. The victim and defendant are in a relationship. They live together at the incident location. She did state the address is actually 4375, so it would be 4375 Cascade Road. They share one child. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated this is not the first time the defendant has been violent towards her, that she's called the police around November 2024, but the police just de-escalated the situation and did not make an arrest. The victim stated she is currently not in fear of the defendant and is okay with no violent contact. She stated she does plan to leave the residence in about 2 weeks to a month, and she may be on Zoom, so we can sound for Ms. Willis when appropriate. The state is looking for a $4,000 surety bond on this case, and no further contact with Ms. Kayla Willis, outside of her requesting no further violent contact. Stay away from the 4375 Cascade Road address, 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And we can sound for Ms. Willis when appropriate, please.
Ms. Willis, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, you certainly do not have to, but if you would like to, this is your opportunity. I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'd have to swear you in.
I have nothing to say at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you for being here, Ms. Willis. Mr. Chatai?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is a lifelong resident of Georgia. He's 26 years old. He attended Valdosta State University in business administration. He attended that school for about 3 years. And for the past 2 or 3 months, he has been working in the construction department for Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. And before that, he had another position, I believe, at the airport. He works for a contractor called GSJ, and he's been doing that for about 2 to 3 months. My client informs me he does have an alternate address, but he also informed me that he is the owner of the address. So I would object to a stay away if it means he has to stay away from his own home. And for the reasons I've just mentioned, Your Honor, as well as the fact that he has no prior arrests, 0 cycles, I ask the court to consider a signature bond instead of a surety.
Okay, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the cruelty, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Willis. At this time, stay away from the 4375 Cascade Road address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. If Ms. Willis chooses to leave the residence, he can have a one-time escort once she leaves to make sure that she's not there. And he can return to that residence if she does not reside there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Lyons.
We'll go with add-on number 1, Mr. Riley.
Good afternoon, Mr. Riley. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001964G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. There are 6 cycles. The last arrest was July the 20th, 2024, out of Brookhaven, Georgia, for battery family violence. There was no disposition for that arrest. And he does have a prior misdemeanor conviction since 2020 out of Marietta, Georgia, but a non-fingerprintable offense. He appears to meet the criteria for UJRA level 2. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident from the 11th of April at about 8:20 p.m. 911 call was made with a woman screaming for help. Police responded to the location, which was actually on the side of the road, 5811 Glen Ridge Drive in Sandy Springs near the Perimeter Mall area. They responded and saw the victim. Her name is Hawa Sahid, and that's Hawwa, first name. Sahid, Shahid. They located her sitting on the ground, visibly upset with numerous injuries to her face, bleeding, as well as injuries to her body. The warrants say her legs and her feet, as well as her face. The warrant specifically says that she had serious injuries and needed medical attention. We are unable to see a report yet, Your Honor, but we'll follow up, as just those words in a warrant indicate felony level injury. She was taken to the hospital where she was later interviewed. The defendant in front of you, she described, was her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend who had assaulted her and then left her there on the scene. She'd been thrown out of a vehicle. She described the vehicle and gave the defendant's name and information, and police located him nearby where they executed a stop and took him into custody. She reported that there'd been an argument over access to phones, typical controlling. She isn't allowed to look at his phone, but he's allowed to look at her phone. They got into an argument. He assaulted her in a hotel room where they were staying together, striking her multiple times. And then she got into his car voluntarily and they left together, where the argument continued and he eventually threw her out of the car. The victim told police that she'd been assaulted by this young man previously, and she pointed to marks on her neck from a previous altercation. You did hear from pretrial about a July 2024 arrest in DeKalb County. That's a current open case. Battery, family violence, battery. It's 5 separate counts. And the victim is the same victim, Your Honor, Mrs. Hawa Shahid. And then after that, in August, in Gwinnett County, or actually in 2022, so prior to the July incident in DeKalb in 2022, this defendant was arrested in Gwinnett County for keeping a place of prostitution at a hotel there. And coincidentally, the same victim was arrested that same day for a companion charge to his at the same location. So there's some concerns here about coercion and control, as well as continued violence. This defendant now has 3 cases dealing with violence or coercion and control against the same victim. We tried to get in touch with her today, but have been unable to do so yet. We'll continue those efforts. The defendant does make phone calls to his mom, where he makes many admissions to his behavior. The facts in this case are truly disturbing, Your Honor, and actually raises this issue to the level of a CSEC concern. So I'll be following up and reaching out to DeKalb for paperwork related to their case. I did note that someone filed a motion to revoke his bond in his open DeKalb case last month. So they might be aware of something else that's going on. We're asking for a $4,000 surety, Your Honor. No contact with the victim in this case, Mrs. Shahid, S-H-A, again, H-I-D, first name H-A-W-W-A, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. The location is a hotel he is renting in Sandy Springs, so clearly he gets to be there. Thank you. If you'd sound for Ms. Shahid in case she was able to join us.
Ms. Shahid is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. McClain.
Thank you, Your Honor. Chevelle Riley is 32 years old. He has addresses actually in Austell. He's halfway through college working on a BS, but he does have certifications in the field of plastic fabrication, a manufacturing technique, that is. He's also worked in Target for a year. He's worked at Medline. He's worked at Amazon, driving the truck, doing delivery. So we would ask the court for the lowest possible bond, the lowest surety bond. If not a signature bond, we would suggest the $1,000 to $2,000 range.
Your Honor, I did just receive a copy of the motion to revoke his bond in DeKalb County, and it's based on continued contact with this same victim in violation of the bond. So that would be the same argument here, Your Honor. There's already a bond order in place ordering he have no contact with her in DeKalb County. That was issued in July 2024. Prior to that, there was a arrest by of the two of them for behavior that also indicates violence and sexual behavior. And now you've got a new assault. So thank you.
There'll be a $4,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Shahid, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Mr. Riley, just so you know, no contact means absolutely no contact. Obviously, no physical or personal contact, no email contact, no phone contact, no internet contact, no contact whatsoever until this matter is resolved. Good luck to you, sir.
Thanks. Next, we'll go with position number 24, Mr. Simmons.
Good afternoon, Mr. Simmons. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001947Y with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, giving false information to law enforcement officer, and tag light violation. To a history, Ms. Jackson?
There are 8 cycles. The last arrest was August 1st, 2023 in Sandy Springs, Georgia for a failure to appear. And he does have misdemeanor sentences and a conviction. He received a no low contendory sentence in 2023 for driving while license suspended or revoked. And there was one in 2017 out of Johns Creek, Georgia for a non-fingerprintable offense. And there was a no low contendory sentence in 2016 out of Cobb County for driving while license suspended or revoked. He appears to meet the criteria for UJR level 1. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Alan?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is the 12th of April this year at about 1:50 a.m. Police in Roswell saw the defendant driving on Nesbitt Ferry and Colony Club with a light on the tag that's required, not illuminated or not working. Police initiated a traffic stop. The driver, the defendant in front of you, was told the reason for the stop, and there was a somewhat long and drawn out investigation about his identity. He told police he had no driver's license on his person. He then provided in writing a false name and date of birth. When officers went to go look that up, it didn't match his information. Nothing came up, but they did find someone with an alias that was similar. And the officers located the defendant's information, saw that he had active warrants, and looked at a driver's license photo which matched his. He again provided a different name to law enforcement, but ultimately, once he was arrested for obstruction and then providing false information, he called his mom, who assisted officers in verifying his identity. And that's significant only because of the multiple failures to appear and driving without a license. His 2017-2015 case here in Fulton ended up with a warrant for failure to appear in 2023, and I believe that now has been disposed. But driving without a license and failing to appear is the bulk of this gentleman's history. We're asking for a $2,000 surety, no driving without proper license and equipment, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Simmons is 28, is a high school graduate. He's worked at a large shoe store for the last half a year, but for 9 years, concurrent with that, he has worked in a recording studio and has also managed a recording studio. Because of the nature of the charge, it is a traffic offense. We would ask the court to consider signature bond, Your Honor.
All right, for the obstruction, it'll be a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the false information, a $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the tag light, $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No driving without driving a properly tagged and good vehicle, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Simmons.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we'll go with position number 23, Mr. Robinson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Robinson. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001945J with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Judge. There are 18 cycles. The last arrest was November the 12th, 2024 in Troup County, Georgia for a probation violation. There are misdemeanor convictions. There was out of New Jersey, one in 2016 for a traffic offense, and one in 2015 out of New Jersey for a drug offense. He does appear to meet the criteria for the UJR level 1, nothing in addition.
Sal?
Your Honor, this is a criminal trespass from 955 Memorial Drive Southeast. That's the AMC Theater's location. At about 5 in the morning on the 13th, the defendant was located in the stairwell there. He was recognized as someone who'd been criminally trespassed in January, specifically on January the 11th, 2025. And again, he was told to leave. The defendant refused to leave until police came, and then he was arrested and removed from the location. You just heard he's got history from New Jersey as well as Georgia, and most recently a probation violation out of Troup County in 2024. We're asking for $1,000 surety to stay away from that location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. We'd also ask for a social worker visit.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a correction. Those misdemeanor convictions are out of Delaware, not New Jersey, and I apologize to the court.
Thank you,
Okay.
Delaware.
Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, thank you. 33-year-old Mr. Robinson is a high school graduate, has worked at several restaurants, unemployed right now, but trying to get a job. He would ask the court to consider a signature bond in this case.
Okay, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Stay away from that AMC theater. A social worker visit to assist with any housing needs that he might have. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Robinson.
Excuse me, have y'all did Shakaria Miller yet?
No, we have not done Ms. Miller. If you've been on the line with us, you know that by now. Okay, we will be with her. Who do we have next?
Position number 17, Mr. Moreland.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moreland. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001957D with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, there are 24 cycles. The last arrest was August the 18th, 2022, out of Fulton County for aggravated assault. He does appear to be on probation in Fulton County. The case number is 22 SC 185552 for aggravated assault. That disposition date was February the 23rd, 2023, and the term is for 4 years. He does have prior felony convictions. One in 1994 out of DeKalb County for burglary. One in 1993 for theft by receiving stolen property. He does have misdemeanor convictions. One in 2022 out of Cobb County for local ordinance. And he received a nolo contendere sentence in 2022 out of DeKalb County for criminal trespassing. This one in 2019 out of DeKalb County for cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. And one in 2011 out of Nevada for battery, domestic violence. One in 2003 out of California for vandalism. And one in 2000 out of Decatur, Georgia for driving while license suspended or revoked and giving false information to an officer. And he does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 3. Does appear to have some serious charges pending in felony court, Your Honor. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Dunlap.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm having Miss and a check on the open Superior Court case. Just to make the court aware, the previous aggravated assault conviction was a different defendant, and the DeKalb 2019 battery was also a different defendant as well. This incident date happened on January 19th, 2025 at 302 Skipper Place in Atlanta. The victim in this case is a Justice Milner King, last name Milner-King. Officers were dispatched to this address regarding a domestic dispute. They spoke to the defendant, who stated he had no idea why the police were called. Defendant stated that he and his stepson got into a verbal dispute and he had been drinking. When officers spoke to Mr. King, who is not a minor, by the way, he was advised that he got into a dispute with his mom's husband. Defendant started yelling at him and then the defendant slapped him. Based on previous history in that open case in Superior Court, just waiting for the details on that to see who the victim is and what the bond order is on that case. But the state is looking for a $4,000 surety bond on this case. No further contact with the victim, Justice Milner King. Family Violence Intervention Program. Stay away from 302 Skipper Place in Atlanta, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And if we could sound for Mr. King when appropriate, if he had a chance to join the Zoom.
Justice King is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so, Ms. Dunlap. Ms. Allen, do you have something?
Yes, Your Honor. There's an aggravated assault felony pre-filed case that was heard today. 302 Skipper Place Northwest. Tiffany Milner is the victim, so that is mom.
Okay.
It's an aggravated assault with a firearm.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Allen. Mr. McClain?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mario Marlin is 48 years old. He can live with his aunt on Hank Aaron, I guess it's Driver Street. So moving out of 302 Skipper is not a problem. He is a 1994 high school graduate at Grady High School. I think it was Grady High School. He went to West Nevada University in Carson City and obtained a Bachelor's of Arts in Business. The last several years, he has worked at one particular large charity, driving the forklift in the back of the store that moves the inventory around. We would ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond in this situation for this particular case, as he does have the others. Thank you.
We have $4,000 good bond. No further contact with Justice King. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Marlin.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Next, we'll go at positions 20 and 21. Mr. Pretty.
Good afternoon, Mr. Preedy. You've been charged in case 25 CR 001960J with battery family violence, and in case 25 CR 001961J with simple assault family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor, there are 5 cycles. The last arrest was December the 8th, 2024 in Fulton County for battery and criminal trespassing. He does appear to have open cases pending. I know on the bond assessment they have the PSA, they have probation, but when I looked it up, they were all open cases. The first case,
Ms.
24.
Jackson, I could do the open cases because I have to put I should put the details on record for Judge Morrow.
Okay.
Okay, I did have that probation violation from 2022, Your Honor, but just so you're aware, there's 3 misdemeanor cases and 1 in Superior Court. I'll just go in order of what I had them listed here. I have an aggravated assault, simple battery, criminal trespass from August 26, 2024. Case number is 24 PI 006362, 31. The same victim in that case, Anna Morales. The incident date was originally August 4th, 2024, allegedly grabbing her by her neck, pinning her against the wall, striking her in the face. That was Superior Court Judge Hughes. There was no bond on the aggravated assault, $10K on the simple battery, $10K on the criminal trespass and damage to property. He was ordered to have no further contact with the victim. I also have 2 counts of battery family violence, 2 counts of criminal trespass and damage to property, and obstructing or hindering persons making emergency phone call from December 8th, 2024. That is 24 CR 008038J. He's out on bond. That's a $6,500 good bond. He was also ordered to have no further contact with Anna Morales. He was also to have a stay away from 555 Roswell, which is the same incident date here, and that was seen by you, Your Honor. There's a willful obstruction from August 26, 2024, and that's 24 CR 0060494. That was Judge Mincy. There is a different victim and different location in that case. The fourth open one, I have a battery family violence in the first, cruelty to children in the third, a simple battery from April 22nd, 2024, and that's 23 CR 002153J. Alleged striking and biting, the same victim, the minor, I believe that's their child, IP was present, striking her again. That was also seen before you on the SAP calendar on September 10th, 2024. There was a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial on each charge. He was also ordered again to have no further contact with Ms. Morales, a third-party transfer of their child. To put the facts of both of these cases, the first incident date happened on February 20th, 2025 at 5555 Roswell Road in Atlanta. That's the Whitley Apartments. Officers responded to a domestic dispute. They overheard loud verbal argument coming from the parking lot area. Officers had a clear view of a Latina woman and 2 Black males having a dispute. Officers observed the dispute continue for several moments before the defendant ran across the parking lot approximately 30 feet away to behind the victim. They were still arguing. He then ran back up to her, assumed a boxing stance, and punched her with a closed fist on the left side of her face. He then grabbed her, to which they briefly started tussling, released her, and then ran towards the stairs again. The victim, it looks like the second male approached the victim to try to console her. She pushed him away. Apparently, there was a large knife on the ground in the middle of this dispute, unaware of how it got there. The victim did pick it up and start waving it at the additional male, to which he was holding his hands up. Officers did put their uniform on at this moment. He is a courtesy officer on site. The officer that witnessed this happen ran outside and radioed for Sandy Springs Police Department to assist. Defendant had then left the scene at this time. To the second incident that happened on April 11th, 2025, it looks like at 215 Northwood Drive in Sandy Springs. Officers were dispatched to this address regarding a domestic dispute. The witness, Olga Jill Nair, Nayar, she called 911 after witnessing a physical altercation between the female and defendant in a parking lot of Copeland Village Shopping Center. She provided officers with footage of the defendant swinging his arm in a slapping manner at the victim. The footage appeared as if the slap made contact. She advised he did swing at her, but didn't make contact. The defendant is out on a total of $42,000 split bond. It clears he's violent in nature as he has 4 open cases, 3 with the same victim, ordered several times to have no further contact with this victim, to stay away from Ms. Morales. He's not followed 3 different judges' orders. He has been calling her from jail. She hasn't been answering. The state is particularly concerned with the safety of Ms. Morales at this time. We haven't been able to contact her, and given that there's 3 previous cases as well as these 2 new ones after several orders of no further contact, the state is looking for a $20,000 cash bond. No further contact with Anna Morales. It looks like she does have 2 last names, the first one being Cespeddes, a stay away from 5555 Roswell Road, Family Violence Intervention Program, or Anger Awareness Course, whichever the court is inclined to give, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And we can sound for Ms. Morales if she did have a chance to join the Zoom when appropriate. Thank you.
Ms. Morales is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. McClain.
Your Honor, Mr. Pretty is 25. He's a high school graduate locally. He has worked construction. He has worked as a cashier at a movie theater. He's worked in a car wash for a couple of years. He's worked as a cook at a large chain of restaurants that's semi-fast food. And he does have a Glen Ridge address, Your Honor. We would ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond. If that's not a signature bond, we would ask the court to consider a $1,000 or $2,000 surety.
Okay, for position 20, the battery family violence, it will be a $5,000 cash bond. No further contact with Anna Morales. Stay away from the Roswell Road address. A family violence intervention program course. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. For position 21, the simple assault family violence will be a $5,000 cash bond. No further contact with Anna Morales. Stay away from the Roswell Road address. Family violence intervention program. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Preedy, so apparently you've been before me on 2 occasions now. Just with myself, one of the occasions I gave you a signature bond. It appears at the next occasion, I think that I gave you another signature bond or possibly a good bond, but I've told you to stay away from this young lady. Apparently you are not able to do that. So if you come back before me and you're not staying away from her, these bonds will be revoked. Good luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Okay, our next 6, we have 3 guys and 3 girls. They're all conflicts, but we don't have a conflict attorney.
Were they conflicts or because this was the dual arrest with one of them being the Munford and the other ones being the Thurmans?
Right, we have Thurman, we have well, the females, they haven't arrived yet, but they're on their way. So for the guys, we have Mr. Carr, Mr. Thurman, and Mr. Rashid. Positions 5, positions 27, and positions 22. And the females are here now.
Okay, so are any of these the same incident? No, they're all individual incidents.
Mr. Rashid is not related to position 27 and position 18. Position 27 and 18 are related.
7 and 18.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
My name is Shawanda. I was on your calendar probably a week ago. Well, my son was on your calendar probably a week ago, and it was going on with the Thurmans, and you had told you gave them, well, you told them to work it out. And I have my other son, and my other daughter-in-law. She's both of them in the room now. It's the same case.
Are you Damon Thurman's mom?
Yes, I am.
Your Honor, I could give you that case number. It would appear on the calendar on the April 8th.
I'm Damon Thurman's mom and Deontay Thurman's mom. And Diamond Thurman's mom.
Okay.
Well, mother-in-law.
I appreciate you being here. I'm gonna have to get an update to refresh my recollection, ma'am. So I'm happy to hear that once I figure out what's going on. But I know that you're here, and if you'd like to speak with me when I get to those cases, just please let me know.
Your Honor, do you want the case number from that case in the meantime?
No, I don't, because let me address the people that we have in the courtroom. So it's my understanding that everyone we have in the courtroom, we don't have an attorney for them. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, with that being the case, and I know that we have some young ladies that are just with me, so let me start from the beginning. Good afternoon, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We do not have a conflict attorney here to represent you today. We can get you an attorney by tomorrow if you want to wait until tomorrow. If you want to, for me to hear your case today, you will have to proceed pro se. That's without the advice of a lawyer. So if you would like to do that, then I will hear your case today. If you do not wish to do that and wish to wait until tomorrow, until we can get you an attorney, that's your right as well. So which cases, why don't we take Why don't we take the individual cases first that don't have co-defendants?
Okay.
Do we know who that, do we, or do you just want to go straight down the calendar? How do y'all want to do this? So do we have DeMarcus Carr in the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we just take him first? Does he have a co-defendant or is he by himself?
I believe he's by himself.
Okay, all right. So Mr. Carr, if you heard what I said, I'm happy to wait till tomorrow until we can get you an attorney. If you want to proceed pro se, I can hear your case today. What would you like for me to do?
Pro se.
Okay. Mr. Carr, you have been charged in case 25 CR 001939A with simple battery against a female who is pregnant and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
There are 8 cycles. The last arrest was December the 11th, 2024 by the Martyr Police Department for false imprisonment and simple battery. He does appear to have an open case pending. Well, they're probation cases. I apologize. The first case is 25 CR 000563 and a letter A for simple battery, family violence, 2 counts. That disposition date was February the 11th, 2025, and the term is for 12 months. The second case is 25 CR 000560, the letter A, for simple battery, family violence, 2 counts, and theft by taking. That disposition date was February the 11th, 2025, and the term is for 12 months. And the last case is 24 CR 00383 and the letter H for battery, family violence. That disposition date was November the 4th, 2024, and the term is for 12 months. They appear to meet the criteria for UJR a level 3. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Westman.
Hello, Your Honor. So on March 23rd, 2025, at 3540 North Camp Creek Parkway, this defendant wanted a Coca-Cola that his sister was holding for her grandmother. She's pregnant, 5 months pregnant at the time, and he punched her in the face and jumped on her while she was on the couch and punched her in the face. He then took her phone and broke it. She couldn't defend herself because she was 5 months pregnant. She threw his belongings out of the home, and then he broke her living room window and fled. Additionally, we mentioned the several prior similar cases. I would like to point out that it is not the victim in that case. Her name is Jameisha Turner in the 3 different cases, but he has 3 different cases, as mentioned, assaults from October, December, and June of last year, all of them requiring no further contact. So clearly, this is a problem, and he has the pending probation revocation on one of them, the one that was November 4th, 2024 sentence. There is obviously a risk to reoffend. Their brother and sister, they did live together, all of these prior similar cases. He has 2 failure to appears, one May 27th, 2023, and another one September 4th, 2023. And he does have older theft by takings and some other things. There's 8 cycles, but the biggest concern being these, this is not changing with the family violence. The state is asking for $15,000 cash bond because he's on probation for the 3 cases in this risk to reoffend and tamper with a witness. We asked that there be no further contact with the victim, Shakira Jones, a stay away from her home and her workplace, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no firearms, an anger management course, and a family violence intervention program. And at this point, we would sound for Shakira Jones.
Okay, before I go to Ms. Jones, Ms. West, so you're telling me that the alleged victim in this case is also the victim in the other cases that he's on probation for,
No,
and
it's a
no.
different one. And that's the same. In the prior three, it's the same woman, Jamisha Turner. In this one, it's his sister, and
Okay,
her name is
so
Shakira Jones.
okay, thank you. If Ms. Shakira Jones is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Okay, so for the simple battery, it'll be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the battery against a female, a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the criminal trespass, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. Makes for a total of $11,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. No further contact at this time with Shakira Jones. Stay away from the incident location, the Camp Creek Parkway location. He can go back to that location on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Carr. So do you have position 8 there, Isaiah Garrett?
Come on, man.
Courtroom 2?
Oh.
Can you, whoever this Shawanda is, can you mute them, please, right now? Mr.
I'm sorry, Judge. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Garrett, it's a medical reset.
Okay, so position 8's medical reset, and that's for tomorrow, 4:15. So the next one would be 13 Shakira Key, is that right?
Yes.
And is Miss Key, does she have a co-defendant as well or not? No? Okay. So Ms. Key, good afternoon. Again, if you heard my announcement earlier, if you would like to proceed with your case today, we do not have an attorney present to represent you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you would like for me to hear your case tomorrow, I'm happy to do that once you can have an attorney here. If you would like for me to hear it today, you'll have to proceed pro se. What would you like for me to do this afternoon, Ms. Key?
Proceed, pro se.
Okay, Ms. Key, you've been charged in case 25 CR 001953C with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, that was one prior cycle. That was on February the 16th, 2019, with the City of Atlanta Police Department for felony theft by shoplifting. There was no disposition for that arrest. She appeared to meet the criteria for UJR level 1. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. And just to clarify, she wasn't a conflict, right?
Yes, I think everyone's left. It was a conflict. It was my understanding.
Yeah, these are all conflicts.
Okay. This incident date happened on April 13th, 2025 at 1500 Market Boulevard, apartment 268 in Roswell. Officers responded to a domestic dispute. They made contact with the defendant, who was the caller. She stated the victim in this case, a Mr. Jabari, I think it's Watkins, Watkins, had physically assaulted her. Mr. Watkins, she stated he initiated a verbal disagreement accusing her of not earning enough income to support them. The argument escalated quickly. He picked her up, slammed her to the hotel room floor before placing his hands around her neck and choking her. Officers did not observe any injuries on the defendant or marks on her neck to support the choking claim. Officers then spoke to the victim, who confirmed the verbal argument had occurred and stated that he did not put his hands on her, that she had become irate and threatened to call the police and falsely report he had assaulted her. Mr. Watkins recorded a video during the incident where the defendant is seen yelling, turning over a trash can, pushing over the Samsung TV. She sits on the couch still yelling and threatening to report the false assault claim. When he brought the phone closer to her to show that she didn't have any injuries, to which the defendant lunged at him, attempted to grab the phone but failed. She struck him with her right hand, making contact with his neck and chest. She then took multiple items, his Xbox cell phone, and his Xbox controllers, and then it looks like the video ends. In this case, the state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with Jabari Watkins, a stay away from 1500 Market Boulevard, family violence intervention program, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. If we could sound for Mr. Watkins when appropriate.
Mr. Watkins is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Okay, Ms. Key, for the simple battery, it would be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the criminal trespass, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Watkins. Stay away from the Market Boulevard address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Ms. Key, do you have any belongings at that Market Boulevard address?
No, it's at the police department with the police in Roswell Police Department. My stuff is with them.
Okay. So that's not a residence. Okay, so I'm not going to keep her from going there. Is that the police department, Ms. Dunlap? If I'm not going to keep her from the police department, if that's
Department, that was the hotel. That it happened.
what? Say it again.
It wasn't the police department that it happened at. It happened at the hotel.
Oh,
that was the
okay. So do you have any belongings at that hotel?
The police got all my stuff.
Okay, all right. Good luck to you, Ms. Key.
Next, we'll go to position number 16, Ms. Miller.
Okay. Does she have a co-defendant?
I don't think so.
Okay, Ms. Miller, as well, we do not have an attorney here that can represent you this afternoon. If you would like for me to wait until tomorrow, I'm happy to do that. If you would like for me to hear your case today, you'd have to proceed pro se without the advice of counsel. What would you like for me to do, ma'am?
Proceed.
All right, Ms. Miller, you've been charged in case 25 CR 001956C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
No, there are no prior arrests on file, Your Honor. She appears to meet the criteria for UJR level 1. Nothing in addition.
Thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident date happened on April 19, 2023 at 207 Harwell Place, Northwest in Atlanta. Officers were dispatched to the address regarding a dispute where they were met by the victim, a Miss Zanita Miller, who is the defendant's mother. She stated her 20-year-old daughter at the time and her were in a dispute about a male friend of the mother. During the argument, the defendant went to grab a pair of shoes that belonged to the defendant, and I believe she blocked her and began to strike her with closed fists from behind in the back of the head and back area. After the defendant assaulted her mother, she fled the location on foot. Our office did have a chance to speak to the victim. She is the mother of the defendant. She denies the events in the warrant. She stated that the neighbors called the police because they heard them arguing. The victim stated she never told the police the defendant hit her or that she wanted to press charges. She stated she's still in contact with the defendant and wants to continue contact as she is on Zoom. We can sound for her when appropriate. That's Ms. Zanita Miller. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial, deferred to the court regarding the amount. No further violent contact with Zanita Miller. I'll let Ms. Miller speak, but I don't think a stay away is necessary. 1 day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond.
If Ms. Anita Miller is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Miller. If you raise your right hand for me, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Do you want, this is your daughter? You can place your
It
hand
is.
down. And you've had no further problems with her since that April 2023 incident?
I never, it's just an argument, Your Honor. That's all it was. My daughter never struck me. That's one thing my kids will never do is raise their hands at me or hit me. I don't know, as far as her taking shoes, my daughter don't steal. She ain't never been in jail. This right here broke my heart. And when the neighbor called the police, my daughter was still in our home. She was upstairs. So why the police didn't arrest her is what I don't understand. But no, I'm not pressing charges against my daughter. That's crazy. No, we're not doing that.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Miss Miller. As such, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Miss Miller, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Yeah, good luck to you, Miss Miller.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next we'll go position number 22, Mr. Rashid.
Yes, Mr. Rashid. Again, we do not have a conflict attorney here to represent you this afternoon. If you would like for me to hear your case tomorrow, once we can get an attorney present, I'm happy to do that. If you would like for me to hear your case today, you can proceed without the advice of counsel. What would you like for me to do this afternoon, Mr. Rashid?
I'd like to proceed without the advice of counsel.
Okay, Mr. Rashid, you've been charged in case 25 CR 001943Y with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. There are 17 cycles. The last arrest was November the 3rd, 2023 out of Douglas County for a probation violation. They received first offender treatment in 2010 out of Douglas County for possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute and theft by shoplifting. That case was sealed June the 18th, 2014. He does have misdemeanor sentences and convictions. He received a nolo contendere sentence in 2023 for a non-fingerprintable offense. There's one in 2017 out of Douglas County for possession of marijuana. It's an additional one in 2017 out of Franklin County for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. There was one in 2007 out of Douglas County for interference with custody. There's one in 2001 out of Douglas County for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. It does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 1. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
Your Honor, this is an incident from the 12th of April, 2025. Police were called to 172 Nathan Road Southwest at about 10 p.m. They met with the victim in this case. That's defendant's brother. So the defendant is Jabir Rashid. The victim is Jamel Rashid. Jamel reported that he lives there with his brother. His brother broke his laptop and then assaulted him, striking him multiple times. He had visible bruising to his face and his forehead. He also had ripped clothing. Police took the defendant into custody. We tried to get in touch with the brother today, Jamel Rashid. We were not successful. Based on the significant history out of Douglas County, we're asking for a $1,000 surety to stay away from that location, 172 Nathan Road Southwest. No contact with Jamel, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Okay, if Jamel Rashid is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity.
Your Honor, he's not on the line. The solicitor had called us, but we didn't know what they was calling for. And
Okay, yes, sir. Tell me, can you come on camera for me, sir?
Yes, sir. My wife is trying to get me on camera.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
This right here, we have to.
Okay, yeah, hit that right up there.
Split full screen.
Yeah. Okay, hit okay. Can you see me now, Your Honor?
Yes, I can. Tell me your name, sir.
My name is Marvin Rashid. I'm the father of both, and Jamil is his middle name. His name is Ahmad Jamil Rashid and Jabba Rashid. Now,
Okay.
Jabba.
Hold on 1 second for me. Raise your right hand for me.
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, y'all both can put your hands down.
Yeah.
So they're twins?
No, sir.
No?
Jalba is my oldest child. I have 5. Ahmed is the fourth. Now Ahmed,
Hold on, Your Honor, if I might interrupt, I don't know that these individuals are witnesses. The solicitor's office did not reach out to family members today. And so I'm not sure
well,
whether
yeah,
it's appropriate. I just want to make sure that the testimony of Dad is narrow. We haven't heard from a victim. We haven't been able to make contact with the victim. And I don't know if this occurred in front of them or if they're witnesses. That's all. I don't
no,
want Dad to explain.
it didn't occur in front of us. I've spoken with both my boys, but here's the pertinent information, Your Honor, that I feel like you need to know. First, the resident is my son, Jalba, the defendant. He took my younger son in, who is homeless. Okay, he has some serious issues and he's homeless, and he took him in. He's not working. He has no visible way to support himself, and my son took him in. As I stated,
where is he now?
He's at the home.
Okay.
He's still at the home. We immediately came. We spoke with the officers on the spot, and Jalba, and I know what she read sounds kind of damning, but he is a very responsible individual. Earlier, when he was younger, he had some issues, but I think he's over those issues now. I commended him. He was with us all day Saturday, and helping us here. And my son Ahmad, he told me basically, and I know this is hearsay, that he don't have. Because I was concerned about them two getting back together. I said, man, you don't have nowhere to go. I said, can you put these charges on your brother? Can you live with him? He said, Dad, I can live with him. He said, at some point, I just want him to learn his lesson. He said, at some point, when it comes to it, I'll drop the charges. I spoke with my son, Jalba. He called last night. I said, son, what about your brother? I said, when you get out, can you live with him? He said, Dad, I can live with him. He said, that was my fault. He said, so I can live with it. So I think
so I hear what you're saying. So I understand that they're having some problem. I want to keep them up. I'm going to give him a signature bond, okay? But I don't want them to be around each other right now. So one of the two will have to find someplace else to go and reside until you all can get this resolved, okay?
Okay.
So I don't want there to be any more conflict between the two brothers. So if Jamil moves out of the residence, then Jabir can move back in. If he doesn't move out, then Jabir is going to have to find someplace else to reside in the meantime. But that'll have to be worked out. They're not going to be able to have any contact until this is worked out. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
We'll resolve it in that manner, Your Honor.
Okay, I appreciate y'all both being here and just letting me know that he has family support for him. So, Mr. Jabir Rashid, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, so you'll be able to sign yourself out. Level 1. At this point in time, I don't want you to have any further contact with your brother Jamel. You all are going to have to, since you can't have any contact, you're going to have to work it out. You can go back to your residence on one occasion with law enforcement. If Jamel is not there, then you can stay there. If Jamel is there, then you're going to have to gather some of your belongings and find someplace else to stay in the meantime. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while you're out on bond. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I hope you all can work this out. Good luck to you all. I appreciate Dad and Mom, y'all being here. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Your Honor, and the last two is positions 18 and positions 27, Thurman and Munford. I don't know if you want them up together or.
Are they the same case?
Yes, Your Honor. So these two are co-defendants to Mr. Thurman, who came through last week in 25 CR 001-841A. And it's their mother who was on the Zoom and speaking previously.
Okay, so you all can, if you will, once I address them, if you all will just remind me of what the situation is, as I don't have any present recollection. So this is Kiera that's in front of me here.
Yes.
Okay, and where is Deontay?
Yeah.
And they're related?
Are you guys related?
No.
They're not related. Okay, so Ms. Mumford and Mr. Thurman, as I've said, we do not have an attorney here to represent you today. If you would like to come back before me tomorrow when we can have an attorney present to represent you, I'm happy to do that. If you want to proceed today, you'd have to proceed pro se without the advice of counsel. What would each of you like for me to do this afternoon? Okay, let's see, Miss Kiera Mumford, you've been charged in case 25 CR 0019551Y with battery and simple battery. And Mr. Thurman, you've been charged in case 25 CR 00196 with battery and simple battery. Ms. Jackson, let's start off with Ms. Mumford. Does she have a history?
No, she does not, Your Honor. She appeared to meet the criteria for UJR level 1.
Okay, and Mr. Thurman?
He does not have a prior history either, Your Honor. He appeared to meet the criteria for UJR level 1.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. So I'll put the facts on record. This incident date happened on June 30th, 2024 at 3136 East Point Street in East Point. Two victims in this case, a Dante Vigil, Vigal, and a Diamond Thurman. That's Thurman, I'm sorry, Dymond, last name Thurman. On, it looks like July 3rd, 2024, officers contacted the first victim, Dante Virgil. I'm sorry, both victims and Diamond Thurman. They spoke first with Ms. Thurman, who stated that her and her boyfriend were attacked and beaten up by her brothers, cousins, and their girlfriends. Ms. Mumford would be one of the girlfriends. Mr. Thurman is either one of the brothers or cousins in this case to Ms. Thurman. She stated they were at their residence when all the suspects came over to attack Mr. Virgil. They approached the home aggressively and said they wanted to fight him. The other co-defendants, there's several of them: Damon Thurman, Deontay Thurman, Dejon Thurman, and Jamari Thurman. It looks like there was also a girlfriend of Dejon Thurman and Damon Thurman, Jamil Waters, present in the attack. The incident stemmed from them being upset about a conversation between Mr. Vigil and the defendant. Ms. Thurman attempted to break up the fight. She stated that they started attacking her as well, pushing her down, causing her to hit her head, and they started punching her. She stated that everyone that was attacking her pushed and kicked her, and that she had injuries from the attack as well as a headache, sprained ankle, and several scratches. Mr. Virgil told officers that he told all the subjects to leave when the defendant, Miss Munford, who is in no relation to the Thurman, she is a girlfriend of one of the co-defendants, punched him in the face before all the subjects violently attacked him, punching and kicking him on the ground. He sustained lacerations and bruising under his right eye and left cheek. The co-defendant in this case, a Damon Thurman that we said you saw on the 8th of April, 2025. Miss Allen gave that CR number. And we were unable to reach both of the victims in this case, but we can sound for them when appropriate to see if they did join the Zoom. The state is looking for a $4,000 surety bond in this case on Miss Munford. She has no relation to the victims at all, or no reason to have been at that address, even though this is her first arrest. 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Dante Virgil or Diamond Thurman, a stay away from 3136 East Point, which is both Diamond and Dante Virgil's address if they still reside there, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond.
Okay. So, Miss Mumford, you want her to stay away from Diamond Thurman and Dante Thurman? Anyone else?
To stay away from Dante Virgil, Vigal last name, and Diamond Thurman, Dymond, and then last name Thurman.
Okay, Diamond Thurman and Dante Virgil.
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Dante Thurman, who do you want him to stay away from?
We'd ask for the same, Your Honor.
The same.
No further
Diamond-
violent contact and to stay away. I believe the co-defendant that you issued a bond on last week was a $4,000 SOB through pretrial, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and no further violent contact. And it looks like, although we were unable to get in touch with Diamond, she's here on the Zoom. It looks like a couple of people from this incident are here on the Zoom.
Okay, I just want to get, so for Miss Mumford, Diamond Thurman and Dante Virgil are the no further contacts. And
Correct.
tell me, for Dante Thurman, who are the no further contacts?
It's the same victims.
Diamond Thurman and just Diamond Thurman and
Dante Vigil.
because Dante Thurman.
So the victim in the case is Diamond Thurman, and then there's another victim, Dante Vigil. The previous co-defendant that you saw before was Damon Thurman.
So we have Diamond and her boyfriend. Diamond's whole family and brothers and cousins and their girlfriends came over to beat up her boyfriend. And when she intervened, her family attacked her as well. So Diamond is the victim who intervened after her family and their friends attacked her boyfriend, Damon Virgil or Vigil.
Okay. Just one more time.
We were unable to make contact with Diamond. Police went to the location in East Point, Your Honor, because the family members, multiple people last name Thurman, came to that location and attacked Diamond's boyfriend. His name is Dante Virgil or Vigal, Vigil. She was there with him, Diamond was, when her family showed up to assault her boyfriend, and she tried to intervene, and they assaulted her as well. So there's one count of battery for assault on Diamond, as well as her boyfriend, Mr. Vigil. All the co-defendants are Thurman's or the lady in front of you, Mrs. Winfrey, boyfriends, girlfriends, cousins, related people who came in a pack. Our office has not been able, yes.
Okay, all I need is for Miss Bridgewater, for the paperwork.
I got you, Judge. I have
You
you.
got me?
I have you, always. I have it
Okay.
as Dante Vigil, and Diamond Thurman. Those two people only. Am I correct, Miss Allen?
Correct.
Okay, I got it, Judge.
Okay, but position number 27 is Dante Thurman, right?
That's Deontay.
That's Deontay.
Name is
Oh, that's
familiar.
Deontay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
I'm sorry.
I got you. No problem.
Okay, thank you. All right.
And it sounds like, Your Honor, you know, the no further violent contact was addressed because all of these folks still have contact to some degree. And although we were unable to get in touch with Diamond today, she's here on the Zoom, and their mama was just here on the Zoom and was also present last week as well.
Right. All right. Ms. Diamond Thurman, if you would like for me to if you would like to address the court, you certainly don't have to, but if you would like for me if you would like to address me, now is your opportunity. If you would, I need for you to raise your right hand for me. I believe it's the other hand.
There you go.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like to say once again, I did not
You're going in and out on me,
say
Miss
they
Diamond.
jumped on me. I said we together and all of them.
Okay, it looks like we've lost her.
Can you hear me?
We can't, Miss Diamond. Now, try it again. What? Go ahead, talk to me.
Don't know. Can you hear me now?
I can, you're going in and out, but you have to keep talking so I can make sure I can hear you or not. Go ahead.
I would like to say they did not jump on me. We all fell together. And once they fell, all of us fell on top of each other.
But
So
were
it's
you,
like
but were you
I don't know.
fight? Were you fighting? I mean, how did you
I
all fall
wasn't
on each other?
fighting them. I was not fighting nobody. I was breaking it up and we all end up falling.
Well, who
I
was
was not
fighting?
fighting no
Was
Dante
any,
and Damon was fighting.
okay. Anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, and I would like to drop all charges
Okay, well,
on everybody.
that's up to the state, okay? So anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you for being here, ma'am. All right, so if nothing further, for Miss Mumford, well, the battery is going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Simple battery, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Stay away from Diamond Thurman and Deontay Virgil. Well, there's no further contact with those two. Stay away from the East Point Street address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. For Mr. Deontay Thurman, position 27, for the battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the simple battery, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Diamond Thurman and Dante Virgil. Stay away from the East Point Street address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Does that cover everybody, courtroom 2?
Yes.
All right, very good. Let's see. Miss Bridgewater,
Yes, Your Honor.
whenever you're ready.
I am. The reset date for the SAP calendar is April the 29th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with the total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. Position 4 is reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is reset further notice with a total $11,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 6 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 7 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position number 8 is medically reset till tomorrow. Position 9 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 10 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 11 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 12 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 13 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 14 reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 15 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. Position 16 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 17 is going to the SAP calendar with a $4,000 good bond. 18, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 19 is reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. 20 is going to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 cash bond. 21 also to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 cash bond. 22 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 23, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through pretrial. 24, reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 25 is reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. 26 is going to the SAP calendar with a $100 good bond. 27 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. And for the add-on case, it is going to the SAP calendar with a $4,000 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
I do have a question, Ms. Bridgewater, or maybe Mr. McLean, on two cases from last week. Mr. Bartell sent to both Judge Lawler and myself a mental health evaluation order in the Leon Phillips case and the Craig Washington case. Did you all need for me to sign? I don't have any present recollection of having these cases before me on Monday or Tuesday. I might have had them. I'm just not
I
sure.
remember the names.
Did you need? I didn't know if you all needed for me to sign these orders or if you needed Judge Law to sign the orders.
It probably would be sufficient, Your Honor, if you would sign them. The situation in each case, the first day, those guys were reset several times in a row. The first day we met them, they were both writhing on a concrete floor. And the second day we met them, they were still in very bad shape, but in different parts of the jail. And by the third day, they were both very obviously incompetent. So we believe they were incompetent from the get-go. Craig Washington is very familiar because he has 14, was it, of the same store shopliftings. And Mr. Phillips had gotten to the point where it's just not even describable.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and sign the orders and I'll send those to you, Ms. Bridgewater.
That'll be fine.
And if you can just figure that out for me, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks
All
so
right.
much.
Okay, anything further on our calendars for today? If
I'm
not,
going to say in my defense, if I tend to get on the average bonds that are not as good as the average during an SEA calendar, it's because my people are in the last half of the calendar. And all their lives, they were called on last in class. And it was really frustrating for them.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the thought of the day.
Judge, you want to address that?
Really quickly, Your Honor. Mr. McLean, did you get an update on Miss Pollard?
Yes, we took care of that.
Yeah, I sent the forward over on Friday, just making sure you were aware. The email that I forwarded over.
All right. Anything else?
Thank you, everyone.
I'm like you, Miss Allen. Thank you. We'll see you the next time.
That's tomorrow. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a
We
great one,
conquered
everyone.
Monday.
Yes, we did. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.